Schlacht beginnt.
Greetings, folks. Healer here. Well, just yesterday I had a video talking about how I have done very few replays recently. But today I do have a replay, and I am very fortunate to have the player of that game in the video with me today. So this was sent to me by my good colleague Jimijaz. He is sailing in the premium tier 6 German destroyer, the T-61, and this is a very good match he had, I think, back in late September, but it's got some really good teachable moments. So I'm very pleased to introduce Jimmy. Hey, Jim.
Hey, how's it going, Elar?
Good. So tell us about this game, your build, a little bit of the background of what's going on.
Well, I think the first thing people will notice is that I'm not in a division with anybody because we we harp on that quite a bit with people. And the second thing you'll notice is that there's a pink guy who's asleep, and I hate that. When at the beginning of a match, the only thing I hate more than that is epicenter. And this is definitely a combination of two of the things that I hate the most. I really don't like epicenter. I think it puts DDs at a disadvantage. It makes them. I think what they try to do is they want to throw people into the center of the ring like some octagon thing, and basically have them duke it out instead of using guile and tactics and being smarter than the other guy. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Although I did bring one of the biggest sticks to the fight in the T-61 with the gunboat build that I have.
Yeah, so share with us how you like approaching your builds with these destroyers.
Well, since I played this game, I have actually changed over to aiming systems because I think this game might have actually caused me to do it because I was kind of perplexed at all the shots I was missing. My gunnery is not that bad, and you'll see some shots that I'm making here that just they don't come off as good as they should be. And see what's happening is they're forcing all the DDs into the center. An epicenter, you have to put somebody into the center cap or you'll start losing points. And I had to get in there and start resetting these guys.
Right. Well, in
And
fact, your team is already down 2 ships.
yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'll be the first one to tell you I don't usually look at the ship count. I usually have somebody in the div with me who's letting me know that.
And oh, by the way, Jimmy, the opponents just lost their first DD. So
Yeah. So when I'm playing, I am so kind of laser focused on what's in front of me. I have to go back and look at the mini map. And uh, what what you see here is just me kind of marking time in the center until a proper engagement can occur. Because it looks like their main capital ships are parked in the northeast corner, and ours are closer. They're in the caps, but they're getting shot up. And I probably could have rushed that guy's smoke, but British smoke, as you can see, it's just fading right now. I would
right,
have just been lit up and shot to pieces by the time I got there, and I just wasn't because I didn't have my smoke was on cooldown as well.
right,
And German smoke it's one of those. To quote another streamer out there, German boats are smoke starved because they the cooldown period is so ridiculously long. I think it's might be the longest in the game, um, besides the American boats. But the American boats get the advantage of having smoke that lasts forever,
right.
and this just wasn't it. So and I'm sitting there watching this Gata come in, and I'm thinking this guy is either going to get cheeky and engage me because he knows somebody's behind this rock. Because he knows the because he keeps seeing torpedoes come out, and the Hawkins is gonna, he's not long for this world. Those things are basically made out of cardboard, and yeah, you can see him start to turn south
Right,
right
right,
there.
right.
So I know what I want to do now is focus the engagement so that I only have to engage one DD. as you can see, well, as you'll see right there, 2 of them pop up. So they're both coming down to engage me at the same time. And I'm backing around the corner trying trying not to get lit so that when I go in, because they're on torp runs right now. And because the Gata has 8-click torps and the is it the Acosta? Yeah, he's got 7
7,
clickers. So
right.
he might be a range there. So I leave the center, and this is where uh the action starts happening in the game, is when you start seeing engagements happen. So I was debating how to uh, engage both these guys at the
The
same
same
time
time, right, right.
because my hydro's on a minute and 10-second cooldown at this point. So I basically just said, okay, I'm just going to run and launch them all and see what happens.
Ooh.
And somebody really, he just dev struck that
Yep,
Gata,
yeah,
and all I really had to do was just turn around and not get torped.
yep.
And this guy uh, picked the fight with the wrong boat because my guns are better than his.
Well,
And
and you have the hydro, which is gonna come off cooldown
yeah,
here shortly.
it's going to come off cooldown in 40 seconds. But as you'll see, I don't think I needed it because the British smoke is just, it's get out of jail free smoke. Even though I'm getting, I don't know, my potential's at 130,000 right there, but it 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 goes up. Trust me, because these guys, uh, most of the players. I mean, I think I included the matchmaking monitor results for this match too, and most of the guys that were playing were inexperienced, to say, to be kind,
Right.
and they really didn't understand how you play this game. And you can see there's still a pink kamikaze who's, yeah, I got him lit on hydro, and then the smoke goes away.
Yep.
So I just hated getting dispersion at 2 clicks and, not not being able to hit somebody. That just drove
Exactly,
me crazy.
exactly.
So I switched to the gun mod after accelerating my torps, and because there's boats up at higher tiers that having fast torps is a huge advantage, like on the Gearing or
Yep.
the Holland, or there's more torp boat centered ships. But this thing is mostly gunboat,
Alright, so you've got
and
this
it
isolated Britannia that you just sent torps on.
yeah, and
Eh
as we all know, cool guys don't look at torps. So I'm thinking this. I'm trying to come over and help the Hawkins at this point, and he's about to get jumped by a Graf Spey, a Furitaka, and a New Mexico. So and who knows? There's Lord knows what else is up there. There's a New York, and yeah, there goes the Britannia.
Britannia.
I
Alright.
didn't get a lot of damage off of him. I think the carrier was working him over. The CV in this match, I have to give props to that guy. He was definitely representing in terms of taking care of business. This wasn't a total carry by me. I did get 6 kills, but he definitely did his job and kept stuff spotted. And he also engaged boats that should have been engaged. He kept resetting and making sure that caps. But we're still down. We're down 200 points here, over
Right.
200 points.
Right. In fact, I was going to call out. Well, first of all, Jimmy gave out a little bit of a spoiler alert there. But yeah, I was going to call out the tactical situation where until the Hawkins just went down, um, the team was down by 200 points, and they still don't have. You guys don't have control of anything. In fact, you slipped out of the center. Fortunately,
No,
the Hawk,
and I
the
thought I'm going to be a meat shield for this Normandy here, or he's going to shoot me.
or either that or
And
something. Somebody's going to fire at him. Right, his engine's
yeah,
out, so you need to get some range.
so I wanted to get over on the other side of the map because I knew at the very beginning, one of the boats that I saw was the Egla, because he came in and you can still see his last known position in the northwest corner there, and that's going to come back because I didn't know where he ended up, and honestly had no idea if he was gonna come down because those boats have a lot of HP. And they don't I don't think they have the reload booster, but he definitely has, uh, the HP to kind of overmatch me over time, and
Yep.
I'm down to almost half. So I was definitely, kinda sweating it there. And we had a Furitaka who I was kind of worried about, and I do have to admit, I do like, being in games in low tiers against German CVs because the AP rockets don't do a lot of damage to DDs.
Yep.
They're mostly a terror to, um, uh oh, there he is, Mr. Pink Guy, getting into the battle. He
Finally.
finally made it in. He's gonna go make his mark on history, and, uh, I don't know what he planned on doing there, but he just jumped right into the middle of the cap, and there's 3 boats, possibly 4 boats that could engage him. All I knew is I could cap the middle ring, and at least for a time, until that Graf got into it. But he either didn't know his ranges, or he got lit by planes, and when a commie gets lit by planes, everybody shoots at it.
Yep.
I mean, there's only one person targeting me, and they should be shooting at me because 'cause I'm the only one that's kind of been pushing hard, and this Normandy actually did a really good job too. But you can see, if you look over on the left, their New Mexico is, and I switched to AP here because it does really mean things to cruisers. And I saw that the, uh, New Mexico is coming down, ostensibly, I guess, to do carrier hunting, but, um, that will actually come back later in the match. So, but right now, I'm just interested in engaging this Graph and whoever else I can shoot with AP because
Right.
all these cruisers are going broadside,
Yep.
and I'm surprised
So,
the Normandy didn't delete that guy.
yeah, I saw a bunch of overpens. Now, to
Yeah,
for the viewers here, the New Mexico that Jimijaz is referring to is entering Gulf 3, headed south toward the carrier. So I also think that your Trento that's south of you, who just went down, had actually done a pretty good job as well because he took out at least 2 of the destroyers, including the Gata that just kind of
yeah,
got blapped. So he was backing things up here pretty well. But yeah, the situation at this point is very desperate, right? I mean, look at the
yeah. We're 500 point difference.
right, and it's just you and the carrier
I'm just
against
hoping to make some good XP, maybe be top of the team at this
right.
point.
Yeah,
And the
exactly.
CV is still kind of harassing me. And if you see, my RPF is pointing to the northeast, and I'm thinking, last known on the Agla is right there. So I just started heading that way. The only 3 boats left, 4 boats, I'm sorry, left on their team are the Egla, the Furitaka, and the New Mex, who's not focused on me. The Furitaka, who, uh, I'm going to be kind and say his gunnery was questionable, uh, was was taking pot shots at me.
But at
But
least he's shooting at you, right? Right. He
yeah, exactly. I mean, he's taking some pot shots and trying to make them count. But I think I looked him up afterwards, and he's didn't have a lot of games, so you got to give him a break in terms of that. I was just trying to get the cap and maybe try to pull some of these points back because I didn't even look back at the battleship until later, and I thought, well, I'm just going to engage this Furitaka and see if I can get him to because he's such a terrible shot. I was just going to see if I could just gun him down. Because it's close to 10 clicks range, and these guns are pretty flat until they get right towards the end of their range, and you can see they start getting real loopy.
yep.
And look at the accuracy's not there. And if this had been anything but a German CV, I'd be dead.
Oh,
I would
because of the
absolutely
rockets,
be dead.
yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking, going, "Why hasn't this DD engaged me? Why am I lit?" And then I look back at the new mechs, and I just figured I got to go find out what's going on. I'm gonna get my detection back or my stealth back, and I'm just gonna go north and engage the guy. And I have no more hydro and no more smoke. So this is all about just getting points because I only had like 36,000 damage at this point in the game. And I thought, well, I'm just going to see what happens.
Right. Well, let's keep an eye on the battleship now in the southwest. Very low health against the Ranger at Hotel 3. See
Yeah,
how
he
that
is
goes
working
down.
that guy over. I mean, he's literally broadside to a battleship, and he was working that guy over.
Right, and the Ranger gets the kill with the secondaries, which is just genius. So now, interestingly, based on the last known position of the Furitaka, your RPF is pointing at the Agla, which you've now detected.
And this guy is a AFK. He DC'd, disconnected during the match. So I thought, well, I'm going to take free kills while I can get them, and at some point, maybe I can go engage the enemy CV. And I didn't know how close I was to him, and I looked at the map, and I see him right there, and you can see uh, adrenaline rush has just turned my boat into a machine gun. The T-61 is just so. I thought the Gremiashi was a overpowered boat, and it might still be a tier 5. I don't own one, but I keep seeing them, and this thing is just so blatantly overpowered. I love it. It's one of my favorite destroyers at
In
tier
the game. Yeah.
and in the game.
Yeah. So one thing I should note to the audience is that the German carriers do have improved secondaries. The Weser does
Yeah,
not
I just
have
found
that
that
many
out.
guns. The Percival can wreck destroyers pretty aggressively because they have a lot of guns. The Weser, on the other hand, does not. Um, so uh, even if you were to spec into a secondary build, it wouldn't. It's not something I would recommend for the Vaser, but he does land a few secondary hits on you. Finish him off
Yeah, he's
there.
trying to chase me down, which is not the best idea for a CV to do, but
You
if
can
you're
also,
spec'd into it,
yep, you can
he
also
could
see
have
the
done a
comments
lot of
in
mean
chat.
things.
Yeah, sorry, Jimmy. You can also see the comments in chat here. So you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, I looked at him. I said, "We believe in you, Jim," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, whatever." And I'm like, "Listen, I just want to get the Kraken at this point because this." If I was in a Furitaka and I saw a T-61, I would drive straight at him because 203s beat T-61 guns almost every time. And this guy was just sailing around that edge of the map, not really engaging the way he should have. Because when his carrier was spotting me, if you look, his carrier and that DD before he disconnected were in the northeast corner, and that Furitaka was, I don't know what he was doing over there, but he shouldn't have been there. He should have been backing his teammates up. And there's no way he's chip damaging me with the rest of his rocket planes. And I suppose I owe him that much for, sinking him. But they the Puritaka should have definitely been all over me, and I would have definitely been all over me if that was the
If you
case.
had
At this
been the
point,
Furitaka,
I think the
right?
CV had been working him over a little bit, and because that's not all the damage that I did. And at this point, I just thought, oh, I'm just going to gun him down. I got a chance at a win here because the only way we're going to win. Well, we had the lead by this time,
Yeah, exactly. You could
and
have
because
run.
we
Yeah.
we killed him, I could have run, but why not take him out and kill them all? So that's what I did. It was a fun game.
So a spectacular comeback, Jimmy. Thank you very much for sharing this replay with us. I'm over 2,500 base XP. So I hope everybody enjoyed the replay. A really good match. Thank you again, Jimmy, for sharing. And as
It was my
always,
pleasure.
oh, thank you. And as always, we hope to see you out there on the virtual seas. And we wish you happy sailing.